We start to see in this sequence what was our attempt with this movie, which is to create an artificial idea of the places described in the book, all as if they were both the extension of the imagination of William Burroughs and at the same time of the emotional journey these characters are going through. And in order to do that, we had to build everything on stage in Cinecittà, the glorious sound stages that been shot many movies from Fellini to William Wyler, and then to work with the extension and the digital extension of these locations, which we can see now. You can see is a beautiful mixture of the spaces, the physical spaces and artificial digital spaces. We have already seen a centipede crawling on the screen at the beginning of the main title, and this is a very important character of the movie, which in fact Lee puts an attention, because the centipede is a character that recurs a lot in Burroughs' work, not in Queer though. And for Burroughs, centipede has always been like the ultimate inhuman evil. For us, somehow, particularly because this was something that he wrote about on his journals, the centipede is a sort of like enigmatic figure of the repression that somehow will recurringly come back every now and then to remind our protagonists that they have to repress themselves and maybe forget about each other in order for the centipede to triumph.
David Lowry,
Who
plays Jim Cochran.
And on the subject of murder, I'm going...
Sit down on your ass!
Well, what's left of it after 4 years in the Navy?
Jim Cochran, this is day first of shooting, and David was preparing his new movie, which I'm dying to see, and he said to me, you know, if I can come for only one day, that day I will do it. And then we arranged it for happening. And here we have, I always wanted to work with David Lowry, direct him as an actor, because I think he's an extraordinary presence, and in fact he's wonderful, and I didn't expect him to be so great an actor.
This is really a Fassbinder moment, you know.
You know, for those, maybe people don't remember who Fassbinder is. Little history story, like Fassbinder, the great German director who made more than 40 movies in 10 years of activity. He died in 1982 with a posthumous amazing masterpiece, Querelle de Brest. You refer to that.
Yeah, exactly, because look at the light, look at the shot.
Querelle de Brest is the translation to the screen for this great Jean Genet book that was almost unfilmable, and he decided to do all on stage like we did, with this orange light bathing everything. It's true that this is an homage to that. Okay, this is a very important scene, because again,
you can read this. This scene in the book. It's really.
It's the book.
It's the book
that we tried
Burroughs
to bring to life.
Wrote this scene,
where they're watching Jean Cocteau Orpheus, which is another story of desire and choices in life you make to go on to the other side of yourself instead of staying on this side, which is maybe the safe side. This scene in particular is when the character is, one of the two characters is asking the other to go to the other way, to the other side of the mirror. We've seen the translucency of Lee going toward the neck of Allerton, and now we're going toward the screen. And that is one of the stroke of genius of Stefano, of your work.
This is incredible, really.
Yes,
how did you do this scene?
Because we used the miniatures in the movie, but in this case, we mixed a real set with a miniature.
You created a set that starts with the real life size, and all the way down to the mirror, to the screen, goes into a
false perspective.
It's a false perspective. Yeah. I like the practicality of it. It's true. It's false perspective. Prince is another protagonist of this movie. Nirvana and Prince. Do you like the Prince guys?
Yeah, especially the
Are you a Prince fan, Stefano?
No.
I love your...
You don't like Prince, or you don't know Prince?
I've never investigated a lot the work of Prince.
But this song you don't like?
Yeah, I like it, of course.
Okay. The kitchen is fantastic. I think I kind of remember somehow part of the reference of the kitchen was Blue Velvet, Dorothy Valence, kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the color too, the yellow.
Yeah, we started from the colors, because we spoke about desire, about longing, and the red is a color that represents very well that kind of feeling.
So we put it on the floor, right?
Yeah. So studying the work of Lynch and in particular Blue Velvet, we wanted to use as reference the kitchen of the house, changing the design, but basically the structure is the same.
It's the same. I think that this, for me, is the love scene that I shot that I am honestly most happy with in my life.
Let's get this sweater off. Okay.
And much of it comes from the way in which Daniel Craig and Drew Starkey committed to the profound, modest reality of this moment. You have two performers who are devoted to the moment that is described on the page and then has to be brought to life on the screen. You don't have, for me, in what I'm seeing, acting. You have being, you have behavior. And it comes also with very simple elements when it comes with these kind of scenes. How an actor is gonna feel on the camera kissing another actor. What the body will say of the tension of the performer. In this case, I don't see any tension. I only see Lee and Allerton. I think this is probably my favorite music moment in the movie. It's so romantic. The music is telling us something. That's what I love about Trent and Atticus, because they are really building music that is character. The music is saying to us, wait and see, because the love is there and it's profound, I guess, right? We have been joined right now by the wonderful Jonathan Anderson, who signed the costume of this movie, costume design, and Justin Kuritzkes, who adapted the book into this brilliant script. Welcome, guys. Hello.
Hi.
I'm Jonathan Anderson.
I'm Justin Kuritzkes.
So this is an important scene, and I would start with Justin to discuss this scene, because it's the scene where the longing and the ache of Lee for contact with Allerton is probably the stronger in the movie, right?
Yeah, I really loved this scene in the book because, this is a line I'm stealing from you. You keep talking about how it's not a story of unrequited love as much as it's a story of unsynchronized love. And this feels like one of the rare moments in the movie when they're really in sync, Lee and Allerton. So when I read it in the book, it was a scene
More
that
than
really
rare
stuck with
moments
me.
in which they are in sync is one of the moments in which they are in sync for a long time.
Yeah,
Because I think they're in sync often in the movie.
but an extended, where they get to live in it.
Yeah, and where the physical becomes the emotional and the, let's say, world collapses into the bed of this room. Like every time you have a fusion with somebody that is the only person that you can be with.
Yeah.
I think we should indulge a little bit in discussing and listening you about how you conceive the design of the costumes in this movie.
Well, I think just here, I like this idea of translucency, because it's this idea of something which is real, which ultimately, when you read the book and in the script, it's like, when we see something real, do we exaggerate it? Is it something that we fixate in our heads of what is real and what is not real? And I think there's two moments in the film, two shirts, one is pale green and one is a kind of flesh color. And I like this idea that when you have like the cigarette pack in the pocket, this idea that you're having these layers to this person, but underneath it's the idea of physicality, the body, the athleticism, the desire in someone ultimately. And I think it's probably the piece that I find has the most confidence. I think and the most contemporary. The shirt is from the period, and I think what it does is it kind of reminds us of like how fashion can have timeless modernity. In the film, I wanted to make sure that everything was from the period.
And it is, right?
Yeah, every single item, right down to underwear and the socks. And I think for me that it's like a kind of grounding effect, And like with Lee, as we watch here, it's sort of like at this stage in the film, you see him at the very beginning in an optic white shirt, this idea of nearly like cocaine. And then by the end, as he kind of goes throughout the story, you start to realize that there's more. He gets darker and darker, ultimately, in it.
I was very, very preoccupied on how to create this moment. It's my Indiana Jones moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because now, of course, taking ayahuasca is a sort of codified thing.
It's fashionable. We are in LA now, and I heard many friends of mine going to the ayahuasca weekend in Westwood.
It's very Burning Man type.
You go to a villa, they give you the ayahuasca.
But for these guys, it's completely alien. It's completely new.
Have you ever had this feeling, guys, of coming back to a place after a long time and like having the emotion of seeing what happened to the place, to the people?
Of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love how subtle but yet complete the redesign of the ship Ahoy is when he walks in. It hasn't changed into a completely different kind of place, but it's enough of a redesign that it's clear the owners have changed.
And it's less nice than before.
It sucks, yeah. It's something.
We don't want to go to the ship Ahoy anymore.
Yeah, the vibe before was incredible, and now it's lost its...
I think it's a little polemic note on the gentrification, maybe.
Definitely. It's gotten more corporate.
Yeah, it's like Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's a sweet green.
Yeah. Do you remember when we had this idea of getting him to be at the end of his life? Was it immediately that you thought about it?
No, I had written it so that the movie ended in the room with the blowing curtain, And then as we were talking about it and thinking about where Burroughs ended up, and it's actually, it's honest, something I couldn't have predicted at that point, but it's made more beautiful to me now that the ending song also is the last thing Burroughs ever wrote. The lyrics are from this time in his life.
Yeah.
It feels so right to see him like this.